All right, you're watching the Power Hour. I'm your host, DJ Larry Jones, along with the new co-host, Tiffany Lee Gaston. Tiffany, how are you?
Good morning, Larry. I'm so great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, this is our first show together.
This is fun.
It's
I'm
going to be fun.
I'm so geeked. Like I don't know how this came together, but it came together hard and fast. So I'm thinking the universe wants this.
Yeah,
We've got something good to share. So
yeah. It was definitely meant to be. Definitely meant to be. Now,
we have to get working for me. I'm not legit. Not now. Not with this. It'll work.
all right, now this is going to be totally unscripted, off the cuff. We're just going to get right into it. Now, it's no surprise if people follow you on social media, they'll see that you are an avid gym goer, and you do your thing. You get it in. You get it in. Now, I want to ask you this: have you had any situations, any gym fails that we should know about?
Yes, I have. I think people think that just because you are a frequenter around the equipment and the things and all that, that like you're confident always. And while that does come with the territory of being acclimated with all of that, every once in a while you try something new or you're human and you lose your balance. And I fell backwards with a barbell on my shoulders once. And I used to train at a country club, and there was the weight room was down in the basement. So luckily there wasn't a lot of people that saw it, but it wasn't my proudest moment. Have you done such a thing?
Let me see. You know what? No, I haven't. When I first started working out, I kind of did everything in I wanted to be like a little mosquito in there. I didn't want to be seen. So I had this big hood on my head, oversized sweatpants, and I would just go hit it. I've never let anyone see my body. Guys, they size you up and they look at you, see who, and I never let anyone see me. So I was like a little mosquito in there and just bang an iron and get out of there. So I never had any fails. Well, I take that back. I did have one fail. I went into the gym, right? And I was jacked. I was ripped. And I thought I knew it all. So there was this guy in there. He says, I want to train you. He said, train me. Look at me. Do I need it? And at the time, I was huge. And he said, yeah, let me just work with you for, just for the day. So he had me doing all of this stuff. I think about 15 minutes into it, I just puked all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
I felt like the next day I couldn't go back to the gym. I mean, it took me about 5 or 6 days to get back to the gym. I was so sore.
Were you embarrassed? That's kind of like an
Yeah, I was.
I mean, that's a solid leg day, Larry. If you can feel the need to yak, I think you push yourself pretty hard. That's impressive.
That dude, he pushed me to the limit, and I was all over the place. We're gonna get into a couple of gym fails, and let us know if this ever happened to you.
Drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop! Drop down. Snap. Ah!
And she is out of there.
Listen, the weirder the stuff you do, the more risk for injury. My training doesn't look like that anymore that much, but the gym fails now happen from a 10-foot pole. So when I capture those, they're actually pretty fun.
You look
myself.
you look pretty advanced now. Now, do you have any problems with guys? You see how the guy was sitting there like a pervert looking at her workout. Luckily, he was looking at her like a creepo because he saved her. Do you get hit on a lot in the gym?
I don't really train in a gym anymore. And no, I will say that a lot of people don't really approach me. I don't know. I don't think I put off an energy like I want to be spoken to when I'm in a space like that, because I really do train intensely. I don't want to be interrupted. I don't really want to stop and have small talk. Like, I think I put off that energy. But yeah, there's always the people that are not quite self-aware that come through that energy. And yeah, it's not always welcome. But yeah, I really don't train in an environment like that anymore. So that's kind of nice too. The Globo gyms, they're just not really for me, you know.
Yeah.
Where do you train?
You know what? I used to train at LA Fitness.
Did you know? That is so interesting. Did you know in my past life, I had a deep, profound affiliation with LA Fitness?
Really?
My history, I don't know if a lot of people are aware, but my ex-husband and my ex-brother-in-law owned and operated a personal training company inside of LA Fitness. We grew it to over 255 locations nationwide, some internationally, and we were bought out in 2007. So if you were a trainer employed by LA Fitness during certain years, you might have known who we were. So yeah, it was interesting. But I think because of that experience, walking into the gym, anyone knowing you were affiliated with the company would question you and bother you. And it was really hard to get a workout without feeling like you needed to cater to also customer service issues. So I'm actually really, really good at training at home, training alone. And I know that's tough for some people. The community, the group environment of a CrossFit or something like that does really well for people, or like group classes. But if you're self-motivated, like, that's kind of an anomaly.
Yeah. Big shout out to
yourself like that without that energy. And like, for me, it's not, because I have to put this somewhere.
Yeah.
I got to put this somewhere.
it is pretty hard to work out. It's for me at home because of too many distractions. But big shout out to LA Fitness. I mean, he's probably the one that made me throw up. Who knows? Probably.
guys or gals. Yeah, no, we had some really great trainers, but yeah, fitness looks so different to me these days. Like, I used to train to compete in figure fitness bikini on the national level, and I don't train like that anymore. And my body looks different because I'm not doing figure, which in figure, you're building your body to look like an hourglass out of muscle. And some of that was really hard for me because I'm not gifted in certain areas. And so you really had to go hard in the gym to build a back wider or build your glutes wider in certain areas to make the facade of having like that shape. So for a lot of it, I really climbed an uphill battle, but finding other things that I enjoy, because this is what I would tell my clients too. If I'm lifting weights and doing an old school bodybuilding routine and that doesn't speak to you, you don't enjoy that, you're not going to be consistent with it. So, you know, if you like to lift weights and that's your jam, terrific. But do Zumba if that's, I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, but people are into Peloton, and I don't think it has to fit in this rigid little box anymore. If you love it, you will do it and you'll remain healthier for it. So stay there, stay in that lane.
Shout out to staying fit, getting healthy, and looking good.
That's an added benefit of like all the other great things that come with it. Your health. I think a lot of us that survived a time of such uncertainty and scare, you know, if we take care of our health, it all starts there. And a lot of that starts with how we eat, you know, like I think this vehicle that we are traveling this planet in, you only get one. You only get this time around. So I think about that daily, and a lot of what I put in my body now, it really matters to me from a perspective of how does this hurt my health, namely my mental health, because I think we know some of us have struggled with things like that. And I want to do things to help uplift me now and not bog it down when there's just so much information overload, you know?
Right. You look like you're in such a good place in your life right now. I'm so proud of you, and I told you that before. But where does that come from? I mean, how do you stay so? I don't know if you are jolly every day, but you sure look like it. How do you stay so happy all the time?
Oh, you know, I'm so grateful that you think I come off that way, because not long ago it was very different. I think I really respect And I know you've got a hard story too, and I want to dig into that more. I want people to know us so that when we banter, it comes from a place of understanding and we can have an emotional connection. I think if you haven't been kicked in the junk, you don't have a real exciting story to tell. It's
Right.
the people that have lived through trauma, that have survived heartbreak, heartache, all kinds of tragedy, whatever that looks like in your world. It's those of us that have decided not to give up. And we might have been close. We might have been begging to leave this place at certain points in time. But I think until you hit such a low and you have that grave contrast, you don't know what a gift it is to wake up every morning. And I've definitely come from a very different place, but I was putting a lot of things into my body that were hurting me and my mental health. And definitely very much catering to my own demise. And so I think we have to look at what we do. And a lot of us don't want to look at some behaviors and habits and things that we do on a daily occurrence that are maybe hurting or harming us. We want to be blind to it. A lot of us use a crutch, you know?
Yeah.
And you grew up in a home where you've seen substance abuse. And I think that can do one of two things for you. It can expose you to thinking that it's acceptable to continually see an adult with a beverage in their hand. Or you can see the hardships that come out of that. And you can say, because of that drink that they've constantly had in hand, they're behaving in a way that I don't feel safe. My nervous system isn't safe. So this is where we have a fork in the road. And it can be really hard depending on where you're coming from at that current place in time when you make a decision. Which way are you going to go?
Right. Either you're going to do as you saw or do the opposite.
Yes. And I know. How did that go?
I chose the opposite. I mean, don't get me wrong. In the beginning, I did what I saw. You know, I started drinking. I started, smoking weed and all of that stuff. And, when I saw, here's the thing. I took a look at myself one day. I was getting out of the shower and it was a huge mirror in front of me. And I looked over into the mirror at myself and I didn't like what I saw looking back at me, right? I was way overweight. I've always had small legs, right? So I kind of looked like an M&M peanut with legs, right? I was round in the middle.
I love M&M.
Yeah. Not when you look like one, though. So I looked weird. So what I did, I was living in an apartment complex at the time, and I chose to go to that apartment complex fitness center in there. And that's where I started. That's where I've been bit by the workout bug, right? Didn't have much. Didn't have a sauna suit. So I would cut a garbage bag and put it on over me and walk over to the thing and work out and sweat. And a few months later, right, I looked into the mirror and I was like, wow. Now, by that time, I wasn't lifting weights. I said, wow, I slimmed down a lot. Started seeing, a new me emerge. Then I said, I wonder what would happen if I go in there and lift the weights. And I started lifting weights and things started bulking up everywhere. And then I said, you know what, this is getting a little bit too light for me. Let me just move on to the big house. And then I went to LA Fitness and I really started pumping that iron and I became really huge. Now, after I suffered that heart attack and was able to, not go to the gym anymore, I dropped some weight, dropped some pounds and lost a lot of muscle. But, I don't think I look half bad. I think I still got something going on.
Larry, I see those guns. Beauty of it. Your body retains that. Like there's a muscle memory.
Yeah.
There now.
Yeah. So, going back and I'm going back Monday. I'm just going to start my workout Monday. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I know it's
expected, but you hang through the early days of getting back into it and the DOMs, the muscle soreness and all that. It's like you have to ride through that to get somewhere great. But isn't it powerful how contagious the results become?
Oh my gosh.
Is on you. It's in here, it's here, but then it's visually like externally your health is improved. It's so anti-aging. It's like if you're not lifting weights or doing some sort of resistance training, it's where it's at. Like, it's why I'm shocked at your age. It's like you have to do these things to keep from breaking down. And I think a lot of people haven't explored this. And I've been doing biohacking, I'd say, long before I understood what it was. I always wanted to be an optimal me. And some of these things that I identified, they felt so powerful in my body that I never wanted to release them. I began to want to like stack these powerful habits. So much like you experienced, you don't have to start with a lot. You just have to start.
Got to start.
You got to force yourself and do it.
I started with just cardio. I just went in there and just did cardio, treadmill, elliptical when I first started. And that's when I dropped all of the weight. Now, speaking of weight and looking well, summertime is here. We're talking vacations, beaches. Where are you going this summer? You have anything planned?
I might have plans. Let's see. I am visiting family back east. I've got, I'm going to take my son Davis to see his grandparents. They're in the mountains in Georgia. I don't know, but this chapter of my life is like incredibly freeing because I've just never been able, my children are older, I'm traveling more, I have the ability to travel more. I'm being very intentional about myself. Like, I don't know, but you and I are going to connect soon. So I'm excited that you travel here. We're going to get some good promo stuff in and get some content and
absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's tell them what they're in for. So you and I are gonna, like you said, we're gonna connect. I'm gonna come out there and we're gonna get some work done. People are gonna see the interaction between us. It's gonna be amazing. So we have what do we call it? It's a reality type vlog type show we're gonna do. And
lifestyle, entertainment, all of it, current events. Like, I want to up-level people from the inside out. I want to make people think. I want to point people in directions they don't know to go necessarily, because maybe we didn't either. And when you find the goodness, I want to give it away. That's what this is all, right?
Gotta give back. Exactly. You got to give back. We got a lot of stuff coming up, though. It's so much, man. I mean, you just got to stay tuned and follow us on social media to see what we all have coming up. Now, the photo shoots that we've done, we've been posting, been looking really good, right? We got a billboard coming up soon. It's so much. We don't want to give too much away, but it's so much. Yeah.
That's all they need to know.
Right. That's all they need to know.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Monday's coming. You better prepare. You better hydrate. You better get your mindset right. You're going to do it. You're going to get in there. Don't call it a comeback.
I know. I know. I'm already here, right?
I'm already just getting better by the minute. That's all.
That's right. Now I'll try not to throw up this time. I'm going to videotape myself and show you my progress. I'll text you my progress.
You need to capture some results, like at least get a day one and then maybe like 4 weeks in or something. But like, yeah, and people shouldn't ever obsess over that kind of thing, but it's empowering to like capture your before. And sometimes when I would do that, I would be on a vacation and I would go hard. I would go hard at the buffet.
Yeah,
a better before. But yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm proud of you. Like, there's nothing like being motivated to get back in there and get after it when it's you.
Yeah, so. I'm a sucker for a good buffet.
Yeah, me too. Maybe not the Chinese buffet, but buffets in Vegas, right? Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Vegas, we have to go there too to finish the tunnels, the documentary, doing that. So I'm pretty sure we'll find a good buffet.
Eat our way through Vegas. Yeah, we got to lift and build some muscle so we can have an appetite.
Yeah, seriously. Now, are you a big conspiracy theorist?
Anyone that follows me will know that I am proud to wear me a tin hat. But listen, if you want to call me a conspiracy theorist because I like to challenge things that don't make good common sense to me all day long, baby, call me a conspiracy theorist, because what I will say is I feel more like a conspiracy realist, because a lot of the things that I have cautioned friends and family or spoken about from my personal perspective, I don't want to say they've come to fruition, but they have. And I think some of us are a little more intuitive than others. So I'm just going to stay in my lane and share it from a new perspective now, a little more cautiously, because not everybody's a fan. But where do you fall in line with that?
You know what? That's going to be the next episode. We're going to share our conspiracy theories. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be next week. Yeah. Okay. Make sure you keep it. You believe in aliens?
Yes, I do.
I do too.
And if our government is finally willing to tell us that, and there's still a percentage of the population that refuses it, then you have to comprehend that something known as cognitive dissonance is very real. And also, I think you have to have a very small mind to think we're the only consciousness around.
Right.
Everything is energy.
Right.
And some things don't make sense. But the deeper you go down certain portals, if you will, different dimensions, I'm going to sound crazier and crazier because I've become a very avid meditator. And a lot of that has taken me deeper into my spirituality. And a lot of this has opened up my gifts, my spiritual gifts, and a lot of I call them my clairs, because a lot of my clairs are kicking now. My psychic ability, which I've long time had, but some of us have needed to knock the crust off our pineal gland. Like we can't access it. My antenna is sharp.
Well, I love it. And I can't wait till we dive into that topic next week. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute. I do believe in aliens, and I do believe that in other life form, right? Now, but why is this? Why is it we have so much technology as far as these iPhones and all of these beautiful cameras and crystal clarity, but when it comes to capturing an alien or Bigfoot, the image is so grainy, you can't see anything. You got to try to make it out. Why is that?
You want me to do that today, or should we?
No, we'll hold that. Hold that thought until next week.
Okay, I got some ideas.
All right, you'll watch.
Yeah, this is good.
It is. It's going to be good. You're watching the Power Hour right here on Soul TV. I'm your host, DJ Larry Jones, along with my co-host, Miss Tiffany Lee Gaston.